You don't reach for the phone. It rings once, then stops. That's the signal. You've been burned. The room doesn't change, but everything inside it does. The hum of the refrigerator grows louder. The ticking clock feels deliberate, like it's counting something down. You stay still for a few seconds, letting your breathing settle into something controlled and forgettable. You don't rush to the window. Instinct gets you noticed. Instead, you stand slowly, walk to the sink, and turn on the tap. The water flows normally, no interruption, no signal, but that means nothing. Only then do you glance at the window. Nothing obvious, no figures, no parked cars that shouldn't be there, but you know better. Being burned doesn't come with visible signs. It comes quietly, like this. And now, the system that built you is already begun to close in. You were never meant to notice your recruitment. It happened gradually, after a lecture, during a casual conversation, through questions that felt harmless at the time. You were at the top of your class, clean background, predictable in all the right ways. That made you useful. They never said intelligence, they called it service. They never said lies, they called it adaptability. You agreed before fully understanding what you were stepping into. Training lasted 18 months, long enough to reshape you, short enough to keep you from resisting. You learned accents, 12 of them, until your thoughts started forming in voices that didn't belong to you. Your sleep was broken into fragments, 90 minutes here, 3 hours there, until exhaustion became normal. You learned how to lie, not loudly, but quietly, in ways that blended into reality. By the end, your real name felt distant, like something you had forgotten to use. They called that progress. Now you wake up as someone else every day, different names, different habits, different lives. You eat what your cover eats, even if it makes you uncomfortable. You speak the way they speak, laugh when they would laugh, move the way they would move. Sleep is never complete. Trust never exists. Every face is a possibility, every interaction a calculation. You measure everything without thinking. Distance to exits, tone of voice, timing of responses, a delayed answer, a repeated question, a slight change in posture. Nothing escapes you. Years pass not in dates but in assignments, 6 months here, 9 months there. Payments arrive precisely, enough to sustain the role, never enough to question it. Promotions don't feel like progress, they feel like exposure. More responsibility means more lies, and more lies mean more ways to fail. You learn not to hesitate, because hesitation is always noticed. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop thinking of yourself as irreplaceable. The system doesn't explain itself, but it communicates constantly. A delayed message means caution. A change in meeting location means risk. Silence is never just silence. There are rules, but they are never written. You learn them through consequences. Never ask too many questions, never repeat yourself, never assume safety. You operate within precise margins, time windows measured in minutes, money calculated to exact figures, movements tracked without being visible. You survive by adapting at the edges, by making small adjustments that keep you aligned but not predictable. After years, these adjustments become automatic. You stop noticing them. Your identity doesn't disappear at all once. It fades, piece by piece, until what remains is only what the system needs you to be. Your personal life doesn't collapse dramatically, it fades quietly. Conversations become shorter, then less frequent, then non-existent. You stop reaching out because you no longer know what to say. You can't explain your life, and eventually you stop trying. You begin to think in layers, the version of you that speaks, the version that observes, and the version that calculates outcomes before they happen. The original version of you, the one with a real name, becomes distant. You remember fragments, but they don't feel like yours anymore. Isolation becomes normal, even comfortable. Empty rooms are easier. They don't ask questions, they don't require answers. Then the routine breaks. The meeting is simple, controlled. A cafe, slightly cold, just enough noise to blend in. You arrive early, sit with your back to the wall. Count the exits. 2 doors, 1 window. The contact arrives late. That's the first signal. He sits, avoids eye contact, his hand resting too close to his jacket. You wait for the code phrase. It doesn't come. Instead, he speaks differently, 1 word out of place, but enough to matter. Your pulse doesn't rise, it steadies. You measure distances again, calculate timing. 2 doors, 1 window. You notice a reflection behind him, someone outside, watching. The system has already moved. Now it's your turn. You can act first, or you can wait. Acting gives control. Waiting gives certainty. But certainty takes time, and time is something you no longer have. So you decide, quietly, precisely, without hesitation. Afterwards, there is no chaos, no noise, just absence. Reports will be written somewhere, your actions reduced to numbers and lines in a file you will never see. You leave calmly, not rushing, not drawing attention. You discard pieces of yourself along the way, a receipt, a phone, a jacket, each one placed carefully to delay recognition. By the time anyone reacts, you're already gone, already becoming someone else again. Later, in a room that doesn't belong to you, you sit in silence. You try to remember your real name. It comes slowly, like a word from a forgotten language. You say it once, quietly. It doesn't feel like yours anymore. That's when it becomes clear. You didn't lose yourself in a single moment. You were replaced, gradually, efficiently, over years. And even if you survive everything, the missions, the risks, the constant pressure, the person you used to be is already gone. There is no dramatic ending, no final closure. One day, the assignments simply stop. Messages don't come, contacts disappear. The system no longer needs you, and without explanation, you are removed from it. But it doesn't leave you. You still measure exits, still calculate risks, still read into every silence. The world moves on, unaware. The system continues, unchanged. Somewhere, someone else is being chosen, quietly, carefully, just like you were. They will learn the same rules, live the same life, lose themselves the same way. And when their time comes, they will understand what you now know. The system never needed you. It only needed someone